What's up, everybody? Yes, the hair's tied back, and someone's going to comment on it. I'm on my way to ballet, so this is going to be a fast Periscope. Question that came up from the critical mass thread of everybody freaking out. I've gotten over 50 messages from people who are in their 20s, wondering if they are wasting their 20s, and how can I not waste my 20s, and how can I learn to speak better, and what should I do, and help me. And that's okay. I'm not upset about that. I'm glad you guys are reaching out for help. That said, the subject of mastery. Why do I mention mastery? Mastery is a very cliche term. You know, I almost hesitate to use it, but there's not a better really word for it. If you want to make something of your 20s, if you want to learn how to talk better, if nothing else, you have to approach life with intent to master domains, to master skills, to master something. How do you get better at speaking? Well, ideally you have something that you've mastered where you can talk about it. For most people, that's usually their profession, or it's a hobby, or it's just anything that they have a passion for, where you ask somebody, tell me about something that you know, describe it to me, teach it to me, and hopefully they're able to do it. The easiest way to improve your speaking skills in that manner is just to take something that you're already good at and start talking about it. Or just start talking about it. Yeah, and I realize for a lot of apparently 20-somethings, you guys haven't really mastered anything. You have a job, perhaps, that you are good at, but you wouldn't really necessarily call it a mastery of craft. You've lived your life and you've been moderately, mildly responsible in certain ways, but you haven't really mastered your health or yourself. You're not able to answer any of these questions I ask you guys. What are you aiming for? What is your intent? What do you want your ideal lifestyle to be? What does your day actually look like? How are you creating value for people? How do I get better at speaking? Well, what are you going to speak about? Rather than ask yourself how I can talk better, what would you like to discuss? What is something that enthralls you where you could get up in front of people and describe it for hours on end? What could you teach me? If I appeared before you right now and asked you, teach me something valuable, what could you teach me? If the answer is nothing and nothing and I don't know and nothing, you've approached life casually. You haven't given anything enough thought to really fully develop it. So you're living a half-life of yourself. You're proceeding through your day, proceeding through your actions, proceeding through perhaps some preconceived steps, and nothing is truly given deep purpose to it. It's just it's mildly done. It's not good enough. Guitar is something to master. If you've mastered guitar, then you should be able to teach guitar. That's a very excellent example. For someone that's an artist, a musician, a painter, a visual artist, something that is artistically expressive, you'll understand what it means to master something because you have a personal, deep part of yourself that you've hopefully developed to the extent that maybe it's hard to describe, but you could surely present it and talk about it. And that's where you'd start. If you have nothing that you're passionate about, nothing that you do with enthusiasm, nothing that you do with conviction, which hopefully you're living your life with some purpose, and if not, you got some shit to change. If you have nothing like that, then yeah, it's going to be hard to talk. It's going to be hard to conceive of what does it mean to master something. It's going to be difficult to speak on anything because you really are half-formed on everything. You have to do better, guys. Yeah, I'm telling you that you have to do better. I keep getting these messages, a whole bunch that's been going on the last 3 hours since I posted that thread. What do I do? What do I do? What did I do? You have to ask yourself these hard questions. You have to create your own solutions. I am not a conduit of internal knowledge. I'm telling you just things that I've figured out by way of being pretty average and being autodidactic. What does that mean? It means I take it upon myself to learn and figure out my solutions. If I hit a problem, if I create my problems, I'm going to have to fix them. So what are you passionate about? I'm passionate about health. I'm passionate about teaching. I'm passionate about ballet. I'm passionate about writing. I'm passionate about mastery of craft. It has been my professional job for the last 8 going on 9 years to take people in a state of ill health and improve their health through improvements in their mentality and physicality. What am I trying to teach people to do? How to exercise? On a certain basic level, yes. But I'm trying to get them into a mental state, get them into a mentality where they want to master themselves, where they don't want to be at the mercy of exterior forces, where they don't want to be fucked over by gravity, where they don't want to hit a point in their life where they're 30, 40, 50, or even 25, and they just thought their health would be okay. They just thought it would work out. They just assumed. I love that one. I just thought that I would age and it wouldn't be this bad. Guess what? All the things that you don't think about are all the things that have the potential to unmake you, and they will. And the longer you neglect them, the worse the ramifications become. What you don't think about has consequences, especially when it's your life. What methods have you found to be helpful in limiting negative self-talk? In eliminating negative self-talk, you need to start at the beginning of your narrative, where, I've talked about writing this down. If you have a negative story in your head about yourself, write that story out, or if nothing else, stand in front of the mirror, and speak it out loud. Speak out your whole personal narrative of every negative thing that you believe about yourself, and trace back the threads, trace back to the roots of why do you believe that? Why are you thinking that way? How is that serving you? What is that making better? And maybe you have some very deep-seated issues, and I say that not lightly, but maybe you do, because it goes back to childhood or abuse or trauma, or you have, you've been beat up by life, and your issues are things that, they're going to take some deep work. This takes deep work. Figuring yourself out takes work. As I say, it's hard questions you have to ask yourself, and it's harder answers to figure out and discern. It's not just going to come to you and say, well, this is the answer. Oh, I guess I saw the problem. You have to apply it. And before you can apply it, you have to really define it. So negative self-talk, maybe it's just simple where you tell yourself, I'm going to fail at this, I'm not good enough, I feel like an imposter. Okay, that can be, fairly straightforward to work through. If it's deeper than that and it's embedded in your subconscious, well then, you're going to have to take some time to it. There's no other way to sort through that. I am talked out on the subject. Any questions before I pull in? I've been on a tear this morning. I can tell because I'm talking extremely fast. No questions, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, no, maybe so. I've got time for one or two. What of veganism? If you want to. I neither endorse it nor, disapprove of it. It's just a personal decision. Any diet can be made to work depending upon context. There's always a way to apply everything effectively with diets. It depends. There's no, I don't have an absolute opinion on anything like that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It comes down, like I said, to how you go about it. All right, we good? We're good. Talk to you all again.